Hello. Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are all enjoying this lovely day. Draft Eve. It's also Earth Day. I'm very excited about that. So guys, thank you again for coming and joining on into another episode of Bar Talk. I know you have a lot of choices for content right now. I was just talking to my roommate about it. Hello. So please know that from the bottom of my heart, I'm very grateful that you guys are deciding to come here night in and night out, or every other night, or whatever it may be. So before I tell you what I am drinking, I would love to give a warm birthday shout out to my buddy, aka the mayor of Chicago, Mr. William Tang. So if everyone can please send some love to William. William, happy birthday. I don't think you're on here yet, but we talked earlier. William is the man. Watching from Maryland. Hello from Maryland. Okay, so what am I drinking? I have a coffee mug. It makes sense, I promise, okay? I am drinking Dark Horse Dry, Bright, Crisp Rosé, all right? So I love Dark Horse. If you guys have been watching, I've been drinking a lot of Dark Horse. Just think that they're just really good. It's really affordable, and I really haven't had any wine from them that I don't like. Hi from Iowa. Hello, Iowa. Love me, Iowa. All right, so everyone, cheers. Wine in a coffee cup. So you might ask, why am I drinking wine in a coffee cup? Well, it's going to make sense because it explains who our next guest is. Our next guest tonight is Lexi Sutter. So Lexi is a reporter with NBC5 Chicago. She has been with the NBC5 team coming up on 2 years in June. And Lexi and I ironically met at a bar. I was her bartender at Pizzeria Portofino a few months ago. There was no one in the restaurant. Lexi came in with her friend who was in from out of town, and we just were kind of talking, shooting the shit, exactly what Bar Talk is all about. And then as we kept talking, I figured out what she did, and I was telling her about what I was doing. Long story short, we exchanged numbers, said we were going to get coffee. Well, this pandemic happening, we weren't able to get coffee. So we are getting coffee now via... So everyone, please let me know what it is that you are drinking as Lexi is joining on in. Hello!
Hi!
How are you?
I'm good. I'm cracking up because here I am with my rosé, as you know.
I was gonna do it in a wine glass, but I was like, you know what? I think a coffee mug might be just a little bit more poetic.
Yeah, well, considering it was supposed to be our coffee date, yeah.
Exactly. Well, cheers, lady. Thank you so much for coming on in.
Cheers! Thank you for having me. It's good to see you.
It's so good to see you too. Okay, so let's go ahead and just kind of dive on in. You have been doing your job now for 8 years. You've been in the industry, which is amazing.
Yeah.
What was that thing that made you realize that this is what you wanted to do?
Well, I think my story is interesting in the way I actually went to school to be a nurse, and I was dead set on being in the medical profession. The common denominator I've realized is people. I love to talk to people. I love to work with people. But I didn't get into nursing school. And so it forced me to really reconsider what my path was. And I always loved the idea of broadcasting, but I thought, you know what, I'll never make it. Like, so many people want to be in broadcasting. So many people want to do journalism. Why will I be the one that makes it? So I was scared. But then when that door shut on nursing, it forced me into what I really wanted to do. You know, I had to be really honest with myself, and here I am. So it's like the whole one door closes, one door opens. So it gives you a lot of faith that like you'll land where you're supposed to be, you know?
What did you take then from your like little time of trying to be a nurse, and like how did you like use what you learned there to pivot into where you're at now?
I think honestly, it was there were so many red flags for me in college that I was like, this doesn't feel right, but like I have to do it. I don't want to quit. I don't want to be a quitter. Like this will be a great job. You tell yourself all these things, which I think, different things in life, you do that anyway. You kind of talk yourself into it. And so I always remember if I'm like talking myself into a situation, whether it be like a relationship or work, it's like, okay, Lexi, you have a gut feeling it's probably not right. You know what I mean? So I definitely, that was like a huge experience for me at a younger age, in my early 20s, that really set up my whole life. So I think just trusting your gut.
Amen to that. You have told probably hundreds of stories, and I can't, sometimes it's like sometimes they might blend together, but I'm assuming there's one that maybe sticks out more than ever. Do you have that story?
There is, I feel like I have to categorize them a little bit. Like, something I will never forget is covering the Royals when I was in Kansas City and going to 2 World Series runs as like a sports, I know you love sports too, and you're a sports reporter. That was like life-changing for me to be on a big event like that and just like embrace it. It was so fun to see players in a different element. And so that was a great experience. Another one is I went to Guam actually with the Air National Guard of Kansas. And that was so cool. It was like, I got to see on the front lines, like what our military men and women do. And I was like forever changed. I was flying on their plane, like literally in a sleeping bag for like 9 hours to Hawaii and then 9 hours to Guam. And I was just thinking like, I'm 25 years old. What is life? Literally, I just remember being like, what is life? But it's such a cool experience, like things that I would have never gotten to do. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. I can't imagine. What did you take away, or like what maybe opened your eyes with being in the military? Because I think it's something we all know, but none of us understand unless you've like seen it.
No, I always respected, our servicemen and women, but like I will pass somebody at an airport and I'm like, thank you for what you do. Like I had no idea until you're on the front lines with them, you really don't realize how much they give up. Even just being at the airport with them when they're leaving their families. And we only went on a trip that was like a couple weeks. So you think about people leaving for 8 months. So it totally, my perspective, I don't even know what I thought. You know what I mean? I had no one in my family that was in any of the branches. So it was just like a life-changing. It changed all my thoughts about it too.
Oh my God. Tell me about, because I came across one of your like stories from like years ago.
Okay.
Tell me about Fred's song.
Oh my God. That's so funny you say that. I was just talking about that with family this weekend. So my first job was in Peoria, Illinois. Have you been to Peoria?
I know where Peoria is. I've driven through there many a times.
Okay. Yeah. It's small, downstate. And so Fred was this like 96-year-old man that literally wrote a song about his wife that had just passed away. And it was so precious. I saw a Facebook post and I was like, who is this man? And I have to go do a story about him. And so I went to Fred's house and he just like told me why he wrote the song. And I'm like 23, like literally crying in this like man's house. It's like me and a photographer I'm with. And it was just so sweet. And then it ended up, a lot of times when you're in local news or in these smaller markets, if you do a really good story, like a heartfelt story, or the topic is interesting, it will get picked up by like Good Morning America or the Today Show, some of the national, they'll take a sliver of it and just, it's good news that you want to hear, right? So that's what happened. So Fred got picked up and I was working for a CBS affiliate at the time. So it was on the CBS Morning News and Fred went viral. Fred was on iTunes. He charted on iTunes and I was like, Fred, I feel like we did this together. And sadly, he passed away a couple years ago, but that was a story that I like will never forget. It was like Fred was on iTunes and then it was like Luke Bryan. And I remember taking a picture and being like, my 2 favorite people.
Okay, that is amazing. I'm going to share it afterwards so everyone can see it because I have the YouTube link. So I'm going to share it because it just like warmed my heart so much. I was like, 96-year-old man writes song about wife. What? And then I was like, oh my God.
Precious.
Like the most precious thing. Like we all want to find a love like that where, I mean, right?
Right. Amen, sister.
We only hope we can find Fred.
We pray.
We pray we find Fred.
I know. So that was a really cool story to do. And it also showed me that You know, a lot of times journalism gets a bad rap for doing bad news or being focused on the negatives. And that was a story that I felt like really was able to shine. And it just shows that journalism is a lot about people and just telling stories of people's lives. And we can all relate to that. And so Fred was a big one. That was one I will always remember.
Love that. Okay, so obviously your job right now, I feel like has been maybe not as bright as some of like the Fred stories, which
Right.
I was thinking about you when all of this was happening because I was like, God, you have to go in and report on this. And it's like, even though the stories are different, they still stem from the same thing.
For sure.
So like, what has been the hardest part about covering all of this?
To be honest, I think it's detachment for me personally. I feel like I wake up, I check the headlines, I work the evening shift. So my shift doesn't technically start till like 2:45 in the afternoon. But you figure, I mean, people are tweeting about it and it's on the news all day. So before I even start my day, I feel like I'm already kind of exhausted by it. So for me, it's been not getting desensitized, like seeing the numbers of cases and stuff, remembering that every single one of those, that's a person, and not just getting caught up in like, okay, 1,000 here, 1,000 here, because it's easy to do that, you know? So the hardest part has been detaching a little bit and not desensitizing, because this is truly a marathon. I mean, if you would have told me on I think it was like March 7th was the last time I did a story about anything other than COVID-19. And every single day since then, I have reported on this virus. And so I mean, the fact that we're coming up on this April 30th date it's like astounding that the time has passed and it's been all consuming. But I think it's so important. There are a lot of positives in terms of a lot of us going through some of the same feelings and emotions together. So I do try to focus on that too and share stuff or share good stories I see that just make people not feel as alone, you know, because
Yeah.
you feel alone, but we're really all feeling the same in a lot of ways.
We really are. What do you wish people, because I think right now there's two people in this world. There's people who can't turn the news off, and then there are people who can't turn the news on. So
Right.
what do you wish people would maybe understand about your job?
I wish that I'm so glad you asked this, because I do feel like half the country hates people like me and half the country appreciates people like me. I just want people to realize that I'm a person to living in a city I love and working hard to pay my bills. And I'm just, journalists are literally just like everybody else. And no one is going out of their way to give false information or misinformation of any kind. So I just want people to know that it's like, I go to work and do a job every day that I want to excel in, like most of everyone else in this world. So I think it's important to in terms of like, you're right. A lot of people either watch news all day long and they feel like by the end of it, oh my God, the world is over. Yeah. Or they just tune it out. I think it's important to be updated and informed, but you got to have a balance. I mean, I tell my mom, like, you cannot sit there and watch the news from 7 a.m. until 4 p.m. Or yeah, you're going to go to bed thinking like, am I ever going to see my kids again? The world is ending. You know, you got to have a break and just some perspective. You got to be able to take a step away, you know?
To taking a step away. We'll go ahead and we'll drink to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so everyone, if you haven't been drinking with us already, please take a drink of whatever it is you're drinking from, wherever you're drinking from. Lexi, we're going to get into rapid fire questions. This is like my favorite part of doing this.
Okay.
So first thing that comes to your mind, try not to hesitate, but if you do, I totally get it, okay?
Okay.
All right, what is something people would be surprised to know about you?
I graduated with 37 kids.
Wait, from high school?
Yeah, high school. I grew up in a really small farm town in Illinois.
Wow, that is really small.
Yeah.
That is extremely small. Okay, top thing on your bucket list.
I want to go abroad. I've been once, but I want to travel. I feel like I'm a workaholic and it's time to travel. Once we're post-pandemic, you will see me solo traveling the world somewhere.
Where is your, like, do you have like a top three where you really want to go?
Yeah, Greece is number 1, Italy's number 2, and I want to go to Paris. So very stereotypical, but I haven't been because I spent my 20s literally trying to work and get back to Chicago, you know?
Yeah. Definitely go to Paris in like the spring. I went in the winter and I didn't get to see the Palace of Versailles and see all the like flowers in bloom.
Oh,
So I was heartbroken
okay.
about that. But
Yeah.
I'll go back at some point in my life because I was like,
Yeah.
I have to see it. But Paris, I never understood why people were like, you have to see the Eiffel Tower at night. I was like, I don't get it.
It's
And
like
then,
sparkling, right?
and then I saw it, and someone there described it as it's sexy steel lace.
Do you have to go with a boy?
No, I was more romantic with myself. Are you
Okay,
kidding
yeah.
me?
All right, cool.
I was like, Jenna, I love you right now and all this time. I'm so happy you got to
I
do
did
this for
this for
yourself.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
Paris I think would be amazing, and I love history, so
Yes.
I want to see some of the sites.
Yeah. No, do it, do it, do it. I have to know, what is your go-to coffee drink?
Go-to coffee. Usually it's Starbucks because there's 27 on my way to work. I just get a blonde roast. Sometimes if I'm feeling spicy, I'll get a shot of espresso or sugar-free vanilla. But I'm pretty straightforward when it comes to coffee. I cannot wait to have a cold brew. Like, I need it to be above 40 degrees in Chicago. I want a cold coffee.
Totally fair. Totally fair. What is the kindest thing a stranger has done for you?
That's a good question. I feel like there's so many that's a hard one though.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me an example of what some of your other guests have said?
So someone had said that, the guest I had on Monday said the guy behind her paid for her stuff at 7-Eleven. Someone bought their car wash. Someone gave them $1 when they needed it.
Yeah.
Someone paid for their coffee, paid for a sandwich and never knew who it was.
Yeah, I definitely have had those experiences. I'm trying to think of something recently because there are moments where I'm like, wow, that was so nice. But I should file those away. But I definitely have had those experiences where I've been at Starbucks or, the act of paying it forward, and then I get excited and I'm like, yeah, I want to do it too.
I swear, it just instantly puts you in a better mood for the rest of the day.
No, it truly does. And that ripple effect is so key. I would actually love to do that right now. That's like a good thing.
We'll have to find a way to do it while everyone's home.
I know. All right.
We'll think about it. We'll think about it. What is an odd or weird talent that you have?
Odd or weird talent? I feel like that sounds cheesy, but I don't really have any talents. I'm not super athletic or anything. I do sing karaoke with no inhibitions, and I cannot sing at all. So I wouldn't call it a talent, but I would say maybe that's a positive to myself.
I would say that's a talent because most people can't get in front of with a mic and people and just like own it. So if you can own it.
Yeah. Oh, it's too bad that I own it how I do. If only I could actually sing. It's actually a couple of my girlfriends were like, the first place we're going when we're opened up in Chicago, I'm going to that karaoke bar and I am putting on a show, man.
Oh my God, that is amazing. I love it. Okay, so this is a question that I would love everyone who is watching to answer along with. And it is, would you rather be forced to dance every time you heard music or be forced to sing along to every song you heard? And I feel like I know the answer, but
I love to dance. So I think dancing would serve everyone better in the room if I just danced instead of sang.
Dance. Okay. I think I would sing just because I already do that. I'm not good at it.
You're one of those people that knows all the words, right? Like every song that comes on, you're like, I know it.
I'm like, why can't I stop singing the song? But I just keep singing along. We have a mixed reviews. Some people say sing, some people say dance.
Yeah.
What is your favorite accent?
I love a good Southern accent.
Good Southern accent.
What about you?
You
said it like,
I oddly love how like awful a Boston accent sounds.
Okay.
Like, love it. And then I swear anytime one of my best friends from college was from England. So I just loved hearing him talk because it just like made me smile. And I also didn't understand a goddamn thing he said.
That's so funny. I know. And especially because I feel like they do use different words for things. I'm like, wait, come again?
He would say things and I would literally say, that was English, but that I didn't understand a thing that just came out of
Right.
it.
I have no idea what you just said.
Yeah, like let's do that all over again.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the biggest turn off in a guy?
I think the biggest turnoff initially is like arrogance. Like there's a difference between being confident and cool and being like cocky and arrogant. And if initially I can tell that you're, being very arrogant, it's like, okay, bro, no time.
Yeah.
Tired.
Like bye.
Bye.
Bye. Get along. Okay, so this is a question for everyone as well. What song instantly puts you in a better mood?
What song? Oh my God, this is funny. This is like literally been one of my favorite songs for the last 5 years, but Roses by the Chainsmokers. If that comes on, it's like just fun, happy. Yeah. Not a song that makes you think about anything. Because there's like some fun country songs I like, but then I think about like this one time I was doing this, But that one is just like a fun, upbeat jam. What about you?
Mine, I would echo that one because when I'm bartending and if I have jukebox control, it's that followed by Higher Love, the remix with Whitney Houston.
And Kygo. Amazing.
Yes.
I love
Kygo. Like I people will ask for drinks and I'm like, you need to wait till the song's over.
Yeah.
You gotta wait. Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, I'm with you.
What is the best piece of advice someone has given you?
Best piece of advice someone has given me. I definitely think it's, if you don't do, I'm trying to phrase this in the best way possible. Basically, you can try to make everybody else happy, but if you don't make yourself happy, no one's happy. Like just focus on making yourself happy and doing what really you want to do and kind of forget the rest. Because if you constantly try to make everybody else happy, chances are you wouldn't be making them happy anyways. They have their own things going on, It's
almost like don't be a people pleaser.
100. Yep. That would be a four-word way to say it. Yeah.
I love it. No, I think it's so true. And honestly, it's like, be genuine to who you are and you avoid so many people that you don't even want in your life and you don't even realize that they're coming in.
Right. No, totally. I think it took me a long time to learn that. I think a lot of people, it takes you a long time to learn that. But yeah, you save yourself a lot of trouble if you just focus on what you can control.
For sure. Okay, what was the first scary movie you ever saw?
Oh my God, I'm still scarred. Scream.
Really?
I can't watch scary movies because of it. I still am scarred. I can who was the actress who was like being drugged through the backyard? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Was it
I can't remember who it was. Drew Barrymore.
Or Pamela Anderson?
Drew Barrymore, I think, because it was like Scream 1. But yes. I remember being like young and being traumatized. And I still to this day, if someone's like, do you like scary movies? I'm like, don't even say the name of a scary movie.
Yeah. I am an absolute chicken shit when it comes to scary movies.
Yeah.
The first one I ever saw was Chucky at a girlfriend's birthday party. I think she was like 12, maybe 10. And I woke up to Chucky. I had a nightmare that Chucky was chasing me around my kitchen counter with a knife.
Yeah, no, scary.
Yeah.
All of those movies were so scary. I feel like what was that, 20 years ago? There were some scary ass movies.
Like there was a point where like I felt like there weren't any like comedies, like romantic stuff. Everything was just like straight gore and horror. Like can't do it.
Yeah, no, same.
Can't do it. Where is the weirdest place you've fallen asleep?
You know what? I'm not one of those people that can like sleep places.
Okay.
Like I sleep in my bed or on the couch. Like I just started to learn how to sleep on an airplane like 3 years ago.
Okay.
I'm not one of those people that can sleep anywhere.
Gotcha.
I have to like take melatonin, have a pillow. But that's a good question. I wish.
Okay. For everyone who is watching as well, what was your first job?
My first job ever?
Yes, your first job ever.
My first real job, I was a lifeguard. And I loved that job. It was like the thing to do in my small town I grew up in. I almost didn't pass the test. I was an okay swimmer, but luckily it was more just like show up, hold your little thing, and like be the lifeguard. I didn't have to save anybody, thankfully.
Oh God. My first job was I worked the Franco's Italian ice stand at the Taste of Chicago years ago.
That's cool. Also, that would be hard.
It was hard. I'll never forget, and this is literally ingrained and scarred in my mind. Um, we would go through phases where like the line would be really long and then there'd be lulls, and then you just people watch because it's the taste of Chicago. And I remember sitting there, and this woman walks by, and she bent down, and she had a lower back tattoo, and it said "extra juicy," and
Oh,
I was
really?
like, and I remember someone came up to me and was like, ma'am, can I order? And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Oh, yeah, sure. You need a lemonade? I got you. Like, and it is like, and it was with an EY. Like, it wasn't even spelled correctly. Juicy was
Extra
EY.
juicy.
So
I mean, tattoos on the lower back were all the rage then.
oh, they were. And I think I was like maybe 14, or I had to be 15 because I think 15 was when you could work. So I had to be 15. But my sister said it was me. It was not you, Taylor. This woman was
That's
extra
a good story
juicy.
though. That will help you to never forget your first job.
She was extra juicy, man. Extra juicy.
So funny.
Who should my next guest be?
Are you kind of across the board? I've caught a couple of them. It sounds like you're kind of just chatting with people who are like doing their thing, right?
Yeah, a little bit of everyone. Anyone and anyone has kind of been my thing.
Your next guest, you know who I think you should try to get on here and just keep it light. I feel like she's so fascinating, is the mayor, Mayor Lightfoot.
Okay, I was wanting to because if anyone is coming out of this like a level above, it's Lori.
Yep.
She's killing it.
I mean, like the memes, like I feel like the Where's Lightfoot page, hopefully everybody follows that on Instagram. I laugh so hard at some of those things. Yeah, if you could get her on here and be like, Lori, give me 5 minutes. I just want to do rapid fire and like get to know you. I saw an interview with her the other day with an MSNBC correspondent, and literally she was like, you need to watch The Last Dance. And Mayor Lightfoot was like, oh, I didn't check text messages. I told people not to talk to me. I watched it. Like, she's so funny. Like, she's real, you know?
Okay,
So
she tweeted, like, don't at me for the next 45 minutes. Yeah. I was dead. So then at the end of the 45 minutes, I added her and said, you should make the Sears Tower be black and red on Sundays for the Bulls.
That's a great idea.
I don't know who's in charge of that, but I feel like that she would have the power to do it.
That would be cool. That'd be refreshing. I think if you could get the mayor, I mean, I know that's lofty, but people would tune in, man. They would want to see what she has to say.
Yeah, and that would actually just doing rapid fire. Like, I don't want to talk politics. I just want to talk fun. Like,
yeah. Like, what was your first job? You know?
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I gotta know someone who knows Lori. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Okay. Last two questions. What have you learned the most about yourself during this time?
During this
quarantine
pandemic? A lot of things, but mostly I have learned that you have to diversify your life. Like, I don't read books. I like to go to the gym. I like to go out, and I like to go to work. And I barely can do those things. So I have learned, like, I have to find some hobbies. I have to just diversify my life a little bit more, and not rely on, having fun only at a bar or restaurant. Because I don't know, I mean, for a lot of people, it's been like, whoa, like, what do I do in my space,
Yeah.
And you can only watch so many Netflix shows, though Netflix has cranked out some good ones. But yeah, definitely just going to work on coming out of this and finding some other hobbies and things to do.
Very true. Okay. And then lastly, besides karaoke, what will be the first thing that you do when all of this is said and done?
Honestly, I might just like do cartwheels down Michigan Avenue. Just like, I'll just be so stoked to be out. I'll like high five people. I don't know. I might give like someone a hug that I don't know. I'm just going to be excited to be in the world with like others, because even last night I had a live shot on Michigan Avenue and I was like, this is so insane. It's 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night when, like, hotels have people and restaurants have people, and it's pretty wild the time that we're in. So I think I'm not going to take any of those little things for granted. I'm just going to really seize the day. I hope to, at least.
I love that. And I will definitely echo that. I don't know if I could do a cartwheel, but I might just run rapid down Michigan Avenue.
I will also be back to visit you. Oh my gosh, we have to be on that patio by the river.
I know it just doesn't, seriously, like I started this because I was like, I miss bartending. And I was like, if I can like virtually be your bartender, like let's do it together. And I was just like, oh my God, like I never, like I remember I like messaged my boss and I was like, I can't wait to get back. And I don't care what jerk walks in the door. They're not going to be able to wipe the smile off my face when I can finally bartend again. Like,
And you are a good bartender, sister. We had so much fun. My friend Becca and I, we had the time of our life that night. I think it was like a random Tuesday night, right?
I actually think it was like, it
Yeah.
was like a really random Tuesday. And I remember like no one was in there and you guys came and sat at the bar. And I was like, this is the best way to end my shift. And I was like, why can't I drink right now?
I know. We were like, don't leave.
I know, I was so sad.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you can please raise your glass, I will raise my mug with me. If everyone can please raise along. I found this quote from Jane Goodall, which I think makes sense for Earth Day. And she says, you cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. So cheers to figuring out the difference you'll make in the world.
Cheers. Love that. Thanks
Yes,
for
yes.
having me, Jenna. You're wonderful. I'm so glad you launched this. You're killing
I
it, girl.
know. Thank you, lady. And we will eventually get coffee, but honestly, let's just get drinks and just call it a day, right?
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. Thank you.
Thank you, lady. Keep up the great work, and I will be thinking about you, and you take care, okay?
All right. Bye, girl.
All right, bye. All right, guys, that was Lexi Sutter. How absolutely amazing is she? Guys, thank you again for tuning in to another great episode. I hope you guys got to just get a different perspective on things. I know sometimes news is not maybe sexy, but it's still a very, very respectable job, and she does an amazing job at what she does. I will share Fred's song with you so you guys can see it. I think everyone will thoroughly enjoy it. But everyone have a lovely night. Stay home, be safe, wash your hands, and drink responsibly. I will see you tomorrow. And thanks again, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.